And let's see. Just a reminder, our fourth quarter district meeting will be in Topeka, and this will be August 21, 22, and 23. And it will be the last one for our present governor. He will be stepping down. Our new governor will be Jacob Schweitzer, and he will begin his term on October. Okay, let's see. I don't think there's anything else.
Thank you, Sylvester, for the food.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you for your breakfast. And next week, I'll take care of the breakfast. Farrell, do you want to introduce Nicole?
I do. This is Nicole Mader with United Way, and she has been here before and is well trained in presentations. She's got a lot of handouts for us to talk about United Way and all that they do. So welcome, Nicole.
Is it okay if I stand?
Yes, I'll be you're comfortable.
Okay. So when Dr. Miller reached out to me, originally it was Stuff the Bus, and then he said, well, you got a little bit of time, so by the time we're done, we're all going to be proficient in United Way. Everybody's going to know exactly what we do, when we do it, and you guys are going to be able to be like the best advocates, champions. You can give a radio interview on the spot, right? That's where we're going. So I'm Nicole Mader. I'm the director of United Way. This month, the 16th, will be my official 10-year anniversary with United Way. There's days where it feels like it's 100 years, and there's days where it feels like it's been 2 days. So in front of you, I brought a few different handouts. I have a brochure that's just a nice little snapshot of who we are and what we do. And then there's also handouts that give a little bit more information about individual functions and events that we do. And then there's some really cute books that we have. So I'm going to start with Stuff the Bus, since that's what we're getting ready to come up with. Stuff the Bus. Who here is familiar with Stuff the Bus? There's a few of you that can probably do the speech just as well as I can. Who here knows exactly how we divide and conquer with Stuff the Bus? Everybody gets to see that we ask for crayons and notebooks and pencils. They don't know how deliberate we are with each crayon, each pencil. We know that the dollars there's not unlimited. We know that we have to be very, very precise in how we collect to be as respectful and to be good stewards of what the community trusts us with. So instead of just collecting school supplies and then saying, here, USD 475, say next, 473, come get your supplies, we work directly with the schools. We send out surveys at the end of the year. And we ask the teachers, what do you need? What do you have enough of? What do you have so much of that you're like, hey, come get this, I'm drowning, and can we share it with another school? For example, at one point, when the middle school, or when the, not Carnes, the Freshman Success Academy, when it was the Freshman Success Academy, at one point they had a file cabinet, 4-drawer file cabinet full of spiral notebooks. I'm like, oh, that's a problem, because they're like, we don't need any more. And I had a whole tote of spiral notebooks. I'm like, what can we do with this? And so we started the surveys and we started reaching out to schools. And so maybe this school had too many spirals and this school didn't have enough. And we made that transition. So we can be more intentional with what we do. We send those surveys out in May with hopes that the schools get them back to us, typically by June. And that is actually how we go in and we get all the crayons, all the markers, the color pencils. We have papers that say, hey, Washington needs this, Spring Valley needs this, Milford needs this. They don't need this. So we make sure that we're being very, very deliberate in what we're giving out. For us, it's a little bit more work, but it's a little bit more respectful because I'm pretty sure the schools don't have an unlimited supply of storage. And so it makes it a little bit better for them. So yes, We always use volunteers, which is where I come in to see you guys. We need volunteers to not only help collect those items, but volunteers to come down to the skating rink and help count and sort. And I promise by the time you're done, you're not going to want to see a box of crayons for a little while. At least that's what I get told afterwards. Um, but one of the other things that we do, we also ask the schools, what is your rate of free and reduced lunch? What is your rate of how much is your student body? Because that's the other thing we look at when we're dividing that up. If this school has 500 children and they're 98% free and reduced, we know that they might need a little bit extra love than maybe this school over here who only has 35% free and reduced. So we do that because, again, one, we know the supplies are not unlimited. We know the dollars are not unlimited. And so we want to be very intentional with that. So how can you guys help us? One, helping collect school supplies, coming out. And I know Dr. Miller and Mrs. Miller have done this a few times. And I think, Ron, you've done it. Yep. I think Amy's done it a couple times. Inga, you helped with stuff the pantry. I don't know if you helped stuff the bus. I think you helped stuff the pantry. So it's coming out on Saturdays. If you look, you have Stuff the Bus dates in front of you. Those are our collection dates. We are in front of Walmart and Dillon's, 10 to 2. So coming out, spending an hour, 2 hours, taking a whole day and divide and conquer. That is one of the biggest ways to help. The other way is financial support. If you don't want to shop, I get that. I don't always like shopping either. I know I'm sacrilegious to females. I don't like shopping. But there's financial donation, or there's coming. Maybe you don't want to be at Walmart and doing that part of it. Maybe you'd rather just come, put your headphones on, jam out to some music, and count and sort. We need those people just as much. Those people are so important because there's only so many boxes of supplies that I can count, and then I need some help. The other way is one of our additions to Stuff the Bus. We found out a few years ago that yes, the supplies are greatly needed, the schools use them, but there were still a few families that just needed a little bit extra. And so we started Adopt a Backpack. Adopt a Backpack is child specific. It is where families actually sign up and apply. They do have to provide income verification. So that way, one, we want to go where the highest need is. The other way is if the schools reach out to us directly. So if mom or dad or grandma or whoever signs a child up, we have to have verification from them. However, if one of the schools or Wendy Hancock reaches out, or one of my other connections with the school, if they reach out and say, hey, we have little Sally Joe and her brother, we know that they need help, they're automatically approved because we trust the schools. They're working with the kids, they know their situation. And so for Adopt a Backpack, we get that child's specific shopping list. We ask them, what's your favorite color? You have a favorite character? Is there stuff that you like, stuff that you don't like? And then we put those out to the community and let them adopt them. Or the funding in situations where maybe we don't get them all adopted, we'll either pull from Stuff the Bus supplies or we'll use funding that we have. But our guarantee to them is if you get approved for a backpack, you will have a backpack. And then our collection or our distribution days, these are actually have turned out really, really fun. We take 2 days out of Stuff the Bus and we let the kids come to the skating rink with mom or dad or neighbor, grandma, whoever. They come to the skating rink and they get their backpack. Cons is usually there and they'll do something special with them and have like Smile Kids. Last year we had Twin Valley there and they did a laptop giveaway. They also did they gave them information, they gave the adults information on how to get discounted internet. So we really want to try and make it as fun as possible for the kids. They really enjoy that. I still have my original 2 girls that started Adopt a Backpack or the need for Adopt a Backpack. They're in college now and they will still reach out to me and just say, hey, Miss Nicole, we just want to let you know this is how we're doing. One is on her way to nursing school. So I'm very, very happy about that. And their pictures are still in my office. So But that is Adopt a Backpack and Stuff the Bus. Now, if there's questions for Stuff the Bus or Adopt a Backpack, by all means, stop me, say hey, or you can grab me afterwards. But I will use a couple minutes, if that's okay, to talk about some of the other things that we do. So we also do, we just wrapped up with this, Stuff the Pantry. That is one that it was started by another organization. They did their best attempt, and I would say they did their absolute best. But they reached out and said, hey, we really need some help. We do not know how to do this. And so we partnered with them the first year. And then after that first year, they said, okay, can you just have it? Can you just take it and go make it a success? And so that is what we did. And I will say, because I know you guys are probably excited, especially since you guys helped. So I have the numbers for this most recent Stuff the Pantry. We had 20 volunteers, a couple of them are which in this room. We did a total of $1,297.04 that was financially donated. When for Stuff the Pantry, something that we do different instead of Stuff the Bus is we divide that money evenly between the 3 agencies that we support with that. So Food Pantry, Kwanzaa, and then Clover Cabinet. So they got it split right down. Here's additional money that you can use to help purchase more food, more items that you need for your pantry. We also did 800 pounds of support to Kwanzaa, 1,200 pounds for Food Pantry. Unsure of the weight for Clover Cabinet or JC Pregnancy Center. Diapers don't weigh a whole lot, but they're still diapers. But a total of 3,008 items were collected for Stuff the Pantry. So, and Dylan's officially kicked our butts. Usually we'll have a nice little friendly competition between Dylan's and Walmart who can collect the most. And Dylan's definitely won those 2 days. So thank you to the ones that came out.
Sylvester and Inga.
Yes. You guys were absolutely awesome. We might have to, usually like for Stuff the Bus, we work with the school district and get buses. We may have to ask for an additional bus for Stuff the Pantry because our cars were packed. We had to bring in reinforcements.
And does the local pantry has their?
They do, because we divide to other organizations, we didn't want to, hey, can you transport stuff that we're going to give to somebody else? So trying to be respectful. They probably wouldn't have a problem, but that, and it does take volunteer time theirs to be able to do it. So,
Nicole, we
It's
passed
still
that on to our state organization and they put it in the state newsletter, so it's all over Kansas.
awesome.
It was responsible for people.
Yes, you guys did. It was with Stuff the Pantry, with Stuff the Bus. It may have United Way on the logo, but it's very much a community event. We can't do what we do without the people that support it and come out and volunteer. So I am so grateful for you guys, not just coming out and standing out there with me, but being the advocates and doing the support work that you guys do. So I wanted to be able to share that with you guys, the numbers. So Stuff the Pantry is basically a drive that we do. We collect food, hygiene, and baby items, and then we share that with the specific different agencies that provide that. You'll also see that we have children's books in front of you. So that is part of our Dolly Parton Imagination Library. This is a program that covers all of Gary County, well, Milford, Junction, and Grandview. And then we also have the Chapman zip code as well as the Enterprise zip code. I don't know if I shared this before. Dickinson United Way closed here about 8 years ago. They lost, I won't go into all of the politics on it. They decided to close. Chapman Abilene has a lot of neighbor to neighbor, a lot of other organizations that help Abilene. However, because the Chapman School District is separate from Abilene School District, they also don't get the support and funding and help from Abilene. So the board said, when it comes to Stuff the Bus, obviously we do a really good job. Can we include Chapman in that? So that is where that partnership came in, to include Chapman. That, and we have a lot of families that live in Junction and their kids go to Chapman, or vice versa. And we also have a lot of families who might live in Chapman and work in Junction, or vice versa. So there's already a very big connection there. And when it comes to kids, I don't know anybody that can say no when they ask for help. So we said okay. But with our Dolly Parton Imagination Library, these are books that go directly to the homes of the families. It is birth to age 5. They get them every month, and it's free. We don't charge the families. We pay for that. Through a amazing partnership with the state, we get 50-50 funding. So instead of paying $2.50 a book, we pay $1.25. Dolly Parton covers the rest because she's really awesome. If anybody says otherwise, we can't talk. But these are books that go directly to the kids. They go to their names, and the post office delivers them. So it is a great partnership that we are very appreciative of. We have done over 36,000 books that have been delivered to kids, not just in Junction City, but Milford, Chapman. At one point, we did have Fort Riley. I'm not going to lie, Fort Riley was a little big for us to handle. So the state came in and said, hey, we see that you're struggling. We'll take Fort Riley. We'll go ahead and cover Fort Riley because we still want them to have the program. You take care of Junction, Milford, and Grandview, because that was hitting us for almost $2,000 a month. That was a struggle. That was a big struggle. And my board was like, we might get rid of this program. And I really didn't want them to do that. So we made the decision to work with the state, and the state took over Fort Riley. So we're appreciative because we do love the program. We believe in the program. Statistics have shown that in areas, communities that have had this program for 5 years or longer, third grade reading levels increase by 32 all the way to 43%, just by having those books in their hands and giving them access to literacy at an early age. So we see the proof is in the pudding. We see the results of it. We see the benefits of it. One of the side parts, yes, education is important. My background is psychology. So one of the side bonuses to that is big brother, big sister, or mom or dad or grandma or auntie sitting and reading to that child. And the dopamine that they get from doing that, the connection they get from doing that. A child who is read to is not only has a higher literacy rate, but is also a more rounded child because they have those connections. So,
But Nicole, in this book, it tells you the adult how to lead the child through the book by starting questions, reading the story.
Some of them do.
Story, they're not all that way.
Some of them do. However, because it is the technology age, Dolly Parton has a YouTube channel where you can actually go on. You also have the Teachers College and a few others that once a month will do YouTube videos where you can read with Dolly. So not only is it helping the caregiver, like how to do itsy bitsy spider and what words to help enunciate, but you also get to read with Dolly. So my son still follows it. He's 20.
So the state provides half of the cost.
Mhm.
You do the other half.
We do the other half.
And where does Dolly come in?
So I will be very blunt. We pay $2.50 for that book. That is postage. That is the book. Go to Walmart and find that book for $2.50. Go to any bookstore and find that book for $2.50. That's where Dolly Parton comes in at. They cover the publication the printing, everything else. So we pay $2.50. That is our share. That's postage. That's the book itself. So I found that it is so much easier for me to explain it that way than saying, oh, well, she pays for the author and she pays for it. No, all we do is pay $2.50. She pays the rest. So it's a phenomenal program. Missouri, I just got notification, Missouri cut part of their funding. So that made me very, very sad.
So are the books mailed to the?
They are mailed right to the children.
To the children?
Mhm. So it'll have the child's name and it'll have the caregiver's name. So the post office delivers it directly. I also have an extension. My husband works for the post office. So I will tell you a sad side story. If a family moves and they don't update their address by post office standards, they're supposed to throw that book in the trash. Oh, the brand new book. Brand new book. Still has the wrapper on it. They're supposed to throw it in the trash. That breaks my heart. Luckily, we have a postmaster that feels the same way. So he looks the other way when the mail carriers say, here, Nicole, your name's on it anyways, and gives it back to me, which is why I'm able to bring the books to meetings like this, to be able to show you exactly what the kids are getting. We take their sticker off. One, I use that to contact the families and say, hey, did you move? Was there a mistake? Post office never makes mistakes. What can we do? Let's get you updated because we want that child to continue in the program. Even if they move to another location, if there's a Dolly Parton program there, we start the transfer. So that way they can continue to get those books. But that book doesn't go in the trash. We take their sticker off. We slap a United Way sticker on it. We work with daycares. We work with the Early Childhood Center. We work with organizations like you guys and hand them out. We do everything we can to get those books back into the hands of the child. 4th of July parade, we hand books out instead of candy because everybody else does the candy. We hand out books. Yeah, we hand out books for 4th of July when we're doing the parade. So we want to make sure that those books.
And you have volunteers to do that?
We do. This is one where here a few years back, I told my board, if they're not in the parade, then I'm not in the parade. Sometimes you have to kind of put it out there. The board is 11 people right now, and they bring spouses and children. So we went from having 3 walkers, myself and my 2 kids, to now having half a float. So I'm pretty excited. They've been really good the last 4 years out there sweating with me. So, but we hand out about 500 books at the parade. And then we also toss out t-shirts. We also toss out water bottles. We figure everybody else is throwing out candy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but we throw out a little more. So it's fun. But that is, yeah, like I said, we don't want to see the books go in the trash. There's so many other opportunities for them. So, which takes me to the other page that I have out there for you, which is our T-shirt Friday. So we tell about all the events that we do for the community. This is one where we do for individuals, but also for us. So every year we do new campaign shirts. I'm pretty sure there's probably a few of you that might have a different color, might have a couple of these in different colors. I think we have every color of the rainbow at this point, which a little birdie news. We will be in the parade this 4th of July, and we may or may not be doing all the colors, our shirts, to celebrate 250 years. So you'll have to see. We're kind of excited. But so each campaign, we will have new t-shirts. We do sponsors, song dance. This is how businesses can help support us. They do sponsorships on our shirts, but how individuals do it can help support us, but also possibly win money at the same time is they can purchase shirts. Shirts are usually $15 a piece, but if they wear them on Fridays, they take a picture They tag us on Facebook. They send it to us. They do something to say, hey, United Way, we're wearing your shirt on Friday. If it is one of our new campaign shirts, which is the purple ones right now, they get entered 2 entries into a drawing. If they wore a previous year's shirt, it's 1 entry. But then every Friday, we collect all those names. The first Monday of the following month, we will do a Facebook Live and we will do a drawing. And we have different businesses that have sponsored us. They'll do a $25 gift card or a $50 gift card. So far, every business has done $50. I'm so appreciative. And we'll draw a name. And that person, because they wore all they had to do was wear a United Way shirt, they'll get a $50 gift card. Our most recent person is a gentleman that has little to no hair, and he won a $50 gift card to a beauty salon.
Good.
I had to giggle at that one. I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome. But he didn't care. He was so happy. So that is something that we are doing all year long. That is how individuals can have some fun and support, or if you're a business and want to do a sponsor. And those funds go throughout our whole entire campaign. Which brings me to my last point. Our entire campaign goes to support our partner agencies. So the last page you have is the 2026 partner agencies. Everything we do, I will give you guys a little more insight into our financials, whether my board likes it or not. I'm all about transparency. We operate on about $100,000 a year. That's my salary. That's also our rent, our utilities, all of that. And we give between 50 and 60,000 to our partner agencies. That is what the biggest majority of our stuff is. Our partner agencies are on that page. We have 11. Food Pantry, Kansas Legal, Girl Scouts, Shelter, Pawnee, Irish Den, YMCA, Special Olympics. The work we do every day is for this community, whether it's through Dolly Parton, whether it's through Stuff the Bus, whether it's just through coming and talking to amazing people like you guys. It's for our partners, it's for our programs, it's for our community. So, any questions? And who's ready for a test?
How do you partner with the historic?
That is awesome. So they used to have, and I apologize, they used to have their STEAM Saturdays. We specifically partner, we provide, they get grant funding from us, and that helps pay for the construction paper, and that helps pay for cotton and whatever it is that their creator comes up with, and she comes up with some really amazing stuff. Chopsticks to get chocolate chip cookies out of the cookies because they're studying how to.
Archaeology.
Yes, thank you. So that is what the funding goes to. Since they stopped doing the STEAM and they've kind of expanded on it, it still goes to support that. It goes to support the children's programs. So it is a lot of fun. It's so much fun. And we actually, so every year we get 35 children's t-shirts. And so we've actually worked with Heather to say, hey, can we just give them to you for the kids? And she's like, of course. So now the kiddos are going to have United Way shirts too. So next question or any other questions? I can talk United Way all day. I know.
What's your favorite part about all this?
Me personally, my favorite part was losing my blinders. I moved to Junction in 2000 from Wakefield. I was raised by a very old school father that Junction City was full of rapists and thugs. When my mom would come to Junction on Saturdays or Sundays to do groceries, I was not allowed to come to Junction until I was older because he didn't want me subjected to that. I moved to Junction when I was 17. My dad cut me off. I'm not gonna lie, you guys are getting a background story to me as well. He cut me off at 17 because I moved to Junction because I was going to the big bad Junction City. And as much as I didn't want to agree with him, I still had that ingrained. And so I had a very big dislike, distrust. It's Big Bad Junction. Everybody here is, out to get you. It wasn't until this job that I learned that, oh, hey, one, you can't complain about something being broken if you're not willing to jump in and fix it. Thank you, Grandma. But also, if you judge all the apples by just a few bad ones, then of course the rest of the apples are going to be bad. But we have some really good apples here. So that's been my favorite part about Junction is learning to take my blinders off and not judging.
Great story.
Anything else?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have some money to give you. And did you want to take a picture